Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome back to another As Many As series. And today we are finishing up the fronts and the closures for our little albums that we started. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 7. I was like, where's my other one? There it is. 7 of these guys so far from one paper pack and a 6x6 pack. And today we're going to use the little pieces that we cut away from the 6x6 paper to make closures for these guys. And I'm also going to use this sheet. I think I have an idea to make these super cute by using this smaller cut apart sheet. And I only need 7 of these because I want to use them on the front of the little books. And these guys, let's get 7 of these out. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to duplicate colors too much. 4. Now I have to start duplicating. Nope, I need, yeah. So then 5, 6, and let's do that pretty blue again, 7. So these 3 I may not use. I might use them. I could use them for embellishment, but I know I need them for closures on our little books. I don't think I'm going to have to put the closure on first. We need to talk about one thing. I'm going to be using the smaller magnetic disc. You could use the large ones. This is a little more than what I need for this little book, so I'm going to use the small ones. I don't mind if my discs show. Some people like to hide them under a piece of paper or something like that. And I may do that today, but they don't bother me if they show, so I may let them show. So you need to decide that in this part of the process because you want to know if you need to make sure your decorations will cover it. Let's start with this guy. I love him. And you may remember that I've decided to make mine prayer journals. So this little one right here is so perfect. It says sometimes all it takes is just one little prayer to change everything. I'm going to use that on the front of this little album. So let's cut these apart. Sometimes when I'm doing the As Many As series, I will go ahead and cut all of my cut aparts apart in the beginning of the series when I'm dissecting my paper pack. I decided not to this time because I had so many paper cut aparts. I kind of think it's easier to see them all, to leave them all together in a situation like that. So since I know where I'm going to be using the majority of these, it's okay to go ahead and cut them apart now. But really, just like when I was trying to decide which ones to use, if I had to flip through every single one of them, it would have been a little daunting. So when you have this many cut aparts in a pack, it's wonderful to have this many, but just think like that. You might want to keep them all together until you know where you're going to use them. Much easier to look at one sheet of paper versus, 24 that you have to flip through. Something else I'm going to do real quick to save me some flip through time in a minute is I'm going to run through and pull the ones I think would be cute on the front. That's a cute one. This is cute. This is cute. Some of them are kind of plain. Like that's kind of plain. I'm going to put it over here. I probably won't use it for the front of a book, but it would be cute, on the inside or something like that. Like this simple image. This one's cute. Let's put it over there. Probably not this one. I know I'm going to use this one here. And that one's kind of cute. Oh, God, His love is cute. Pray more, worry less. That's good for the front of a prayer journal. All right, so let's see how many I got. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have plenty for my albums. So this stack I can put aside until I get ready to do something else with all my cut aparts. All right, then, let's look at this one. This is adorable. And I tell you what, I really like the idea of cutting around this to sit on here like that instead of just putting it down square. So I'm going to evaluate each one of these one at a time. So for this one in particular, I'm going to do some fussy cutting. I did this before on my Graham Bragg album and I loved it. I thought it turned out really cute. So I'm just going to cut around this. And listen, I'm not fussy cutting, I'm bubble cutting. This is what I like to call it. I'm leaving an offset, so I'm coming around the outside. And here's the thing, you do not have to mimic every nook and cranny. It will give the feel of it when you're done. Just kind of mimic the shape a little bit and just take your time. You're only gonna have to do this one time. And once you have it done, you're ready to go. Another thing let's talk about on the fronts of these books. I feel like these little prayer books or journals, the way I'm going to use them, even as a brag book, are going to be put in purses many times. So you want to be careful about putting too much dimension on it while someone's sliding this in and out of their purse. It could rip that off. So let me show you what I mean. With my original, the brag book that I did, I had to know that these guys were going to get kind of beat up the way they are. But honestly, I like them the more beat up they're getting. I really am loving them, kind of with that little bent up look, so that doesn't bother me. But if that might be an issue for you, just think about that whenever you're creating these guys that are going to stick down. Now, pretty busy from these two here. I think I'm going to see if any of those little strips I cut would look good running behind to kind of break up the solidness and give this kind of a place to land. Oh, that's cute, isn't it? That changes everything, doesn't it? I like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue this guy straight down. Oh, do I want to use, yeah, I like the tighter side, the smaller check side. So I'm going to glue this straight down. You could border punch this if you wanted to. I'm going to try to keep it a little less busy on the front. So I'm going to put that down like so. Now again, this is where you got to decide, are you going to have your magnets hide, or are they going to be able to show? I'm going to let mine show. That doesn't bother me. The other thing I want to show you is I'm thinking about making my little, what color flap do I want to put on this one? That purple, oh, I want to use this color. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. My plan, I haven't glued this down yet, but my plan is to come back to the back and glue this guy even at the back, okay? Then I'm going to bring it around and use a magnet at the front. Then I'll use a sticker or something just to make this cute. What I need to be mindful of is where I need my magnet to go. If I just do it in the middle, it'll cross over my little flower. See there? I don't want to hide the flower. So if I'm going to have my little decorator piece at the top, then I'm going to want my closures to come down a little lower and maybe even further, so I can put something really cute on the end of this, if that makes sense. So it doesn't matter where your closure is. Let me show you. With that being right there, it'll keep it closed just fine. And it'll look super cute because you'll have it wrapped around and look nice and clean back here in the back as well. Okay? So that's, I wanted to make sure I reminded you of that before you started gluing your decorations down. But for me, the way I'm going to do this first one, I think it won't be an issue. Now, I've never made one of these with a magnet closure before. So when I do this first one, I may decide I want to make some sort of change. And if I do, I can do that on the other ones coming up. The best thing to do is to kind of make a whole one, see how it goes, and then make any changes you need to before you get to the other ones. All right, I'm gonna get that glued down. That's so cute. Adding some bling to this will be cute too. All right, so let's decide. We'll hold this here. Let's decide where we want our closure. I think I'm wanting it somewhere about like that. And I like the idea of it landing and ending right there. If you wanted to overlap, you could. I don't know. We'll trim this once we get to that point, but I want to see where my measure lies. So I think if I come down 1, 2, 3.5 inches on the back, we'll be in good shape. So I'm going to lay this on my cutting mat and come down 1, 2, 3.5 inches. And this is where I will want to glue it. All right. So I'm going to run some glue all the way across here and here. And then that should be, oh, I can go another little stripe right there. That should be just what I'm looking for. So I'm going to line that up here. Try to get that fairly straight. Now, I don't want this to be a super tight closure, because if somebody wants to add something, you know, that's got a little dimension, I want to give them a little room. You see how flat they're closing? I want to give them a little room. So when I come around this side, I want to have a little bit of movement there so that the album can grow slightly. If that makes sense. If you want it to be able to grow a lot, I'll give you a tip. You can get Velcro that you can run the length of this. So you could run a length of Velcro and just a piece over here that would allow you to be able to adjust this instead of just the magnet. I'm just going to use the magnet. But I think I'm also going to decorate this little edge here. So let's see what we can do. That would be cute. So I tried several stickers, just holding them up and looking at them. Look how cute this little butterfly sticker would be right there. Isn't that cute? My hand's in the way, but wouldn't that be cute there? So I'm going to use that. And what I'm going to do is flip this over, and I'm just going to stick this guy down. I'm going to cover as much of my strip as I can, meaning, see how I've got this all down here and that tiny little bit right there showing? I'm going to trim that tiny little bit with my scissors to make it almost look like the butterfly is the shape of the closure. It is the teeniest, tiniest little bit there. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. Now you have a couple of things you need to decide. You can powder this and get all the sticky off. You literally could, okay? Or you could use a punch that's big enough to put here and hide all of that. Or you can just lay down a piece of paper and trim it out. I think that's what I'm gonna do. You remember we had some of these pieces left? this is where I'm going to utilize it. I'm going to stick this little guy down on here, just like so. Actually, I should add some glue. Let me add some glue. I need this to be pretty sturdy, so let's add some glue, like this. Now, you have to not mind cutting out, which I don't. And you might want to do this before. Remember I told you this is the first one I made, so we're seeing. In hindsight, I might have done this before I attached it, but we didn't, so I'm going with it. I say we, and you're like, don't blame me. All right, so I could have trimmed this down before I stuck it down. I don't know why I didn't. I guess it's because it's the first one I've done. All right, so let's trim this down so we can get it manageable in our hand. Okay, and now I'm just gonna fussy cut around that butterfly. So there it is. It's clean on the back. Looks like a cute little butterfly on the front. That's super cute to me. And now I'm gonna put my magnet on. I'm going for simple. You don't have to go for simple. You can dress this up as much as you want. With these magnets, you need a plus and a minus. So they come in this nice little case or this nice little piece of plastic, which I leave them in. You'll pop out a plus and a minus. There we go. And when you turn them over correctly, they will grab each other. There we go. All right. And now this is how I do them. I go ahead and peel the back off of one side, just like these. The funny thing is the magnet sticks to my pokey tool, and I use that to my advantage. So when I go to place it, I stick it to my pokey tool, and I think I want the magnet to live somewhere here, about like that. Then I can peel this backer off, and by the way, they're super sticky. I have not had any issues with them coming off. If you think you might, you can add adhesive, but they seem to be okay for me. Then what I'm going to do is line this guy up where I want it to go, leaving myself a little bit of ease here, remember. And then I'm going to press that down into place. That is my first little prayer journal with the outside closure. Look how cute it is. And again, it doesn't bother me with that showing. I know that some of you won't like that, and that's fine. Make a change if you need to, but I love how that looks. Now, that's just part one. What I'm going to do now is run through and do this exact same to the rest of them, and I'll just leave the camera rolling so you can watch it. So there we go, guys, all of the covers done with their little closures. And that probably doesn't seem like a very long video to you, but that took me about an hour to do, which is not really bad, but we're getting ready for a 3-day weekend around here. And so I had to get a little more filming done before I can go. And so my time is running a little short for filming. So I'm gonna call this part 2 done. But look how cute these are. They're so good. I love these. What cute gifts would these be? I even got to thinking, if you felt like this paper here would wear out, if this might get a little too thin over time, and it could, you might consider using ribbon here instead of paper. Again, first time I've done these, so I'm learning. But I think if you were going to make these for gifts for someone else, you might consider, you know, gluing down a piece of ribbon that you know won't get weak, or doubling this and putting glue between it, and that'll help too. But I wanted to just flip through and show you all of them so far. They're so stinking cute. I really, really like these guys. So I'm gonna lay these out here like this, and we're gonna call part 2 done. When we get back together, I have an idea for the inside to turn these guys into really good prayer journals, and then we might add a little more embellishment in there as well before we move on and see what we can do with what's left over from the paper pack. I hope you're enjoying this As Many As series, 2 in a row. How about that? If you're doing this, I want to see it. Head to our website called MaymayMadeIt.com and click on the More tab where our gallery will pop down. And not only can you upload your inspiration for us to see, you can also see over 2,000 images that have already been uploaded for your inspiration. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and tell me below what you think we should do with the left of the paper pack. It'd be fun to see what tags or cards, or what do you think? All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.